Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. TGIF, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where I have a lovely guest here this morning, and that is our very, very own Jackson County Auditor, Tiffany Ridgeway. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's going to be so fun. We're going to talk about real estate property taxes and evaluations and stuff.
Yes, all the fun things that come with being a property owner.
Yes. No, it's like property ownership is, the American dream, right? And right up until you get that tax bill every year.
That's right. Everybody wants to own their own property. Nobody wants to pay the taxes.
It's like, I can remember, parents long time ago saying, you never own your home because, even if it's paid for, you still have to pay taxes. And I didn't understand that until it was a thing. But anyway, yes. But we're not here. We're here to be nice today, right?
Yes.
And Tiffany, you guys have every so often, I think it's 6 or 7 years.
Every 6 years.
Every 6 years, the state does this reappraisal of all properties.
Yes. So the state of Ohio and ORC mandates a county auditor to do a reappraisal every 6 years. So depending on which county you're in, depends on which year cycle you're on.
Oh, they stagger.
Yes, so
okay.
we're a little bit staggered. There is 28 counties that are on the same cycle as Jackson County.
Okay.
And then, so that's every 6 years. And then the third year in between that 6-year cycle is called a triennial. So we did our triennial in 2020 and our reappraisal is due 2023.
Yay!
Yes.
So we happen to fall right after all of the property values in the entire world have skyrocketed.
Yes. Aren't we lucky?
Yes. No, and honestly, it's not all bad, right? Because your property value raising is a good thing.
Yes. Well, property values in general, when they increase, is a good thing for if you're going to sell your property, right?
Sure.
Because you're going to get more on the market.
Right.
So.
And people, if you're an investor or whatever, people, over time, real estate has always been something people have invested in because the values do go up.
Yes.
Until you have to pay your taxes.
Until you have to pay your taxes. Right.
But that's neither here nor there because it's if you're fortunate enough to own property, then you pay your taxes.
Right. And those tax dollars go for the services in our county. So
all
we want
the
to make
things
sure
that we enjoy. Yes.
Yes. All the things that we enjoy. Yes.
Very good. Okay. So the state comes in, and this is the big kahuna. So once every 6 years, this is, so it was funny because I had just had this security system put in at my house where I had like the doorbell camera and all that. And one day it went off and there's like some person randomly, but they're not, up on my porch. They're walking in my yard up and down. And I'm like, who is that? And so my father-in-law happened to stop by and he was like, oh, it was some appraiser person. And I was like, oh, I know who it was. So I wasn't too panicked.
Yeah. So the process is a 2-year process. We started in September of 21.
Wow.
Yes. It's a very in-depth, very detailed, as you can imagine, process. So we started in September of 21. We started with photography. and data mailers. So we don't
Now,
go
is this people within your office, or does the state send people
so
to help?
so
or-
each county auditor either does it in-house or hires a company to help them.
Okay.
So
okay.
obviously we're a small
Very
office,
small, yes.
so we don't have that type of staffing. So I hire a company that
Okay.
helps. So we sent data mailers out to every person who owned a home.
Yeah, and I remember filling that out.
Yeah.
Like, is your home, 2-bedroom and 1 bath, and is this
Yes.
all still correct?
Yes.
Yes, I remember
so,
that.
So we had on one side of it, it told you what we currently carried, and then on the other side was where you could make your corrections.
Okay.
Yes. So it was like 2 columns, and then the photography teams, and they went out and they took pictures of your dwelling and any outbuildings that was on the property.
Okay.
So we use the data mailers, of course, to collect the interior information, and we use the photography to validate our records for what's on your property, the outside of your property.
So maybe you built a garage on,
Yep.
or you built a barn, or
Yep.
something else.
Yes, because in Jackson County, we out in the townships, they're not permitted. So
Right.
right. So unless somebody's just truthful with us
You just
and
keep
comes
on
in,
building
right,
stuff, and
right,
no one knows.
right. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we use that so that we make sure we have all the garages and all the barns and all the wood decks. And on the flip side of that, if you tore something down and didn't come tell us, we're going to pick that up as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing, and we'll get into that and like with some specifics, but yeah, I mean, yeah, your property values can go up, but they can also go down on the flip side.
Correct. So if you have destroyed property, they could go down. If something drastically changed in the market, I mean, there would be a potential of it going down. We have not seen that in recent years by
Sure.
any means, but yes, there is always that potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling you off the air, I know, for example, Jamie and I have some land that had a house on it. And when the pipeline came through, we all remember the pipeline.
Yep.
They were here for quite some time. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, the pipeline, it kind of has to run a straight line, right? Like
Yep.
they can't, make it zigzag.
Right,
So
right.
the proposed pipeline went right over top of our house, or not our own house, but a house that we had. And so they came to us and we negotiated and whatever, and we had to tear the house down. So then we had a property that was still evaluated for it having a home on it, which it didn't anymore. So I came and talked to you guys, and then those property values get evaluated or get reevaluated.
Yep.
So it can go backwards as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And make sure you say something.
Yes, make sure. If you have any type of destroyed property, make sure. Several years ago, when we had those storms come through and barns were, destroyed, and
Yes.
even houses, there was lots of damage to houses. That destroyed property form allows us to even make interval changes. So, for
Okay.
instance, like maybe part of your house was destroyed, but not the whole house was destroyed. I mean, we can do it on just portions, and
Okay.
we can also do it. Was it 25%? Not usable.
Okay.
We can do it that way. So yeah. Anytime you have any questions about whether or not some kind of damage will make a difference, absolutely reach out.
And that's the thing. I think, living in a small town has its benefits and,
Absolutely.
sometimes not. But,
Yeah.
The benefit of living in a small area here is that your office is so accessible. And,
Yes.
You're not a figurehead. You're in there working every day.
Yes,
And you have a
absolutely.
small staff that's in there working every day. And you go in and they're familiar faces. And, if you walk in the door, you're going to see Tiffany standing there.
Yep.
And you can probably just chat with her if you'd like to. So ask the questions. Your office is open, and but call ahead of time if you'd like to make an appointment or something too, I would assume.
Yes, absolutely. So, and I have a phenomenal staff, and
Yeah, you do.
and they're great to work with as well. But I'm always accessible. Our office
She's always there.
I am.
Always there.
Our office hours are 8 to 4.
Okay.
And again, you can call, you can come in, and we will help you through any process, even if it's just answering question after question after question. I mean, we want you to understand the process.
Sure. Absolutely. And so, okay, what's the point of doing these reevaluations for the state? Why does the state do it?
So the state says every 6 years that we need to, our valuations for tax purposes needs to, that bad word,
Yay!
yes, needs to be reflective of the marketplace.
Yeah.
So that is why. So we're bringing those valuations up to meet marketplace,
Yeah.
and then of course that affects your taxes.
Yeah.
Now, it is not it's not an exact ratio. If your property value went up 25%, that does not mean your taxes are going to go up 25%.
Right.
So it is not an exact.
And that's hard to like wrap your head around.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is, and you have a website that is absolutely fantastic and so easy to navigate, and it's Jackson County Auditor.org. And, you know, I've used it for years, but you can go on and basically find out your property, find out your neighbor's property. You can be
Yep.
nosy if you want. Like,
Yep, absolutely.
And it has all kind of information about all the properties in the county, and you know,
Yep.
you can find out what your property is evaluated at.
Yes.
And I assume that that's what you're kind of encouraging people to do.
Yes. So it's mass appraisal, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, we're looking at 28,900 parcels. So we are mass appraisal. So what we do is we break down townships and municipalities by neighborhoods, and we're looking at those sales that are coming through. So once we get your attributes of your property right, you know, what buildings you have on it, how many bathrooms you have, that kind of thing,
Right.
then we're looking at the sales to make sure that we're setting the valuations according to what the market's doing. And it's as of 1/1/23. So what would I sell my house for, or my vacant property, or, you know, my commercial building for,
Okay.
as of 1/1/23?
Gotcha.
And that's the value we're setting. So we are constantly going through our sales. So what we do is we put our weight on the 2022 sales, because what better indication of market than the last recent year of sales?
Except for they were insane.
Except for, right, yes. So, and that's what the state said. So the state kind of done a change in their methodology of how they did their sales analysis. So years and years and years ago, they took more into consideration a 3-year sale. But now they've gone to this 1-year methodology because it is the best indicator of what the market is doing. However, like for us, I still, and I have a background in this, so I still look at my 3-year to see my trend. So if I know in 2020 to 21 I'm trending up, in 21 to 22 I'm trending up, then I know my values need to be set a little bit closer to market because I'm still trending, right?
Okay.
But if I looked at my 2020 and 2021 to 2022 and I see that trend's coming down, then I know maybe I need to back off just a little bit.
Okay.
Why we do weight very heavily on our 1 year prior to the tax lien date, we do look at the 3 years.
Okay. So yeah, it's all included in this.
Yes.
So here's the thing. It's a catch-22. Everyone wants their property value to be as high as possible if they're going to sell their property.
That's correct. Yep.
So you can either thank your neighbor for selling their property way more than you know you thought or whatever. But then when those tax bills come, nobody wants their property to be worth anything.
That's correct. Yes.
We want our cake and eat it too.
Yes.
So, but here's the thing. Property taxes are a thing, and they're be happy and feel fortunate that you have to pay property taxes.
Yes.
This is kind of the way I look at it. Nobody wants to, but if you're able to, and you think about all of the services that are provided by property taxes, I mean, it's wonderful. So where do our property taxes go?
So our property taxes go to all the taxing entities within your jurisdiction. So for instance, City of Jackson, we are going to have the county gets a small portion. So the actual county, they get like 3.2 mils, which is just a small percentage of your tax bill. And then DD, senior citizens, Rio Grande, EMS, Job and Family Services, they all get a portion. and then your schools
Yes.
and your joint vocational school,
Yes.
and then your city.
See, and all of those are services that I'm sure that you all have,
Yep. Yep.
understand that are very important.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Fire, all
Yes.
of this
So
stuff.
you're right. Your fire, your police, your cemeteries, all of those things. So township, same way.
Yes. Yeah, if you live, like for example, I live in Franklin Township. We have you have levies on for some I forget how they phrase it, but road repair or
Yes.
something, or whatever. And it's like, then don't complain if you don't want to vote for it. Don't complain if there's potholes
Yep.
on your road, So it's not just like to punish you or anything.
Right.
This money goes. It's kind of like paying your dues so that the county and infrastructure can remain intact.
Right. It's all about, when you go to the polls to vote, it's all about what services you want your community to have now and in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And so this does kind of tie into the election coming up. And we had Bill Martin
Yes.
and John Smith in yesterday talking about the senior citizen levy and explaining that. And we talked about the difference between a replacement and a renewal levy. And this senior citizens levy would be a renewal levy. So so this all ties together with what Tiffany is talking about today. And I'm thinking maybe if we go through that again, it might make more sense than we made yesterday, because the renewal is not reflected by this increase of property taxes.
That's correct. So a renewal levy means that we are going to, so there was a House Bill 920, and when that enacted, it reduced your voted millage down so that it only collects what you originally said you needed to collect. So, so when you see renewal on the levy, that means that entity says, I can still operate with what I originally passed that levy for.
Yeah.
And so the new valuation will not affect it at all. It will continue at the same rate that it is going now, and you will pay no more tax dollars for that. Yep.
And then when you get into people asking for a replacement levy, they're saying, hey, it's time for our levy to be renewed, but we're actually asking for a higher evaluation. And we understand it's going to raise your taxes a little bit, but we need that to operate.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what that means.
Yeah. So it is, I know it's a little confusing for people, but if you in just using the senior citizens levy as an example, and I'm not telling you how to vote, I'm just telling you that it would, as a renewal, whatever you're paying now, you would just continue to pay, and those services will just continue on. Nothing would change.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So what are you hoping that our citizens of Jackson County do? And you're not here just to talk. You're asking them to check on things.
Yes. So I want you guys to go out and check your valuation. I want you to go out and look at your values. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to look at the characteristics, what we are using to value your property. Do we have your bathroom count right? Do we have your square footage right? Do we have your garage correct? Do we have those measurements right?
And all of this is on the website.
It's all on the website.
Super easy.
Yes. If you own acreage, I want you to make sure that we are classifying your acreage right. If it's woods, we have it classified as woods. If it's pasture land, we have it classified as pasture land. Like, I want you to make sure that those are even correct.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes. So we value all of that. And so that's the first thing I want you to do.
So would like pasture land be worth more than wooded land?
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So we have different types of classifications of land.
Okay.
So you have your home site, and obviously your home site is where your house sits and the utilities that are on that. So that your water, your septic, your electric.
Okay.
And so that value reflects those things. And then you have residual, cropland, and pasture land, and they're all basically about the same. So it's just land. It's either, if it's residual, it's just land that you're not really using for anything. If it's crop land, or what we call tillable land, it's because you have crops.
Okay.
And if it's pasture land, it's because you are pasturing it.
Yeah.
And then we have woodland.
Okay.
And so those are your main classifications of land.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
And you can find that on the land tab on the website.
Okay.
So, or you can call us or come in and we'll go over all that. But so that's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to make sure that we have your property characteristics correct. And then the next thing I want you to do is look at that value and really think about, is the value that is on your record what you could sell your property for, or at least close.
Okay.
So the state says that we need to be between 90 and 110%.
Okay.
I mean, that's the official law.
You have to get your crystal ball out for
Right?
that sometimes, right? Like,
so that's what it officially says. Now, the state normally will not approve anything below 92%.
okay.
And of course, we don't want to be over market.
Right.
So if we're between that 92 and 100%, that's the real ratio we're looking for.
Okay.
So I want you to say, yes, that is right, or no, that's not right. And if you tell me, no, that's not right, in this informal time, we're still in that mass appraisal mindset. So
Okay.
if the characteristics are right, but the valuation is wrong, then maybe I have an issue in your neighborhood and I need to relook at the entire neighborhood to make sure that I have the value set right. So I'm going to pull your sales in that neighborhood. I'm going to go out and look at realtor websites to see what's listed maybe in your neighborhood. I'm going to use any tool that I have to either validate that valuation or say, nope, I need to make an adjustment.
And if you get frustrated, sometimes, and this kind of goes back to what you would consider, I guess, as an appraiser comps, what they call comps,
Yes.
which are, homes or land in your neighborhood
Yep.
or around you that have sold.
Right.
And, in this market that we've had recently, I mean, houses have been selling for, I know of a house in town here in our county that sold for $180,000 over the asking price.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like mind blown.
Yes.
So if you live in that neighborhood, your taxes, your value
is
went
going to
up.
go up. Yep, that's right. That's right.
And I don't know, that's good and bad.
It is good and it's bad. It is good and it's bad. Like we said, nobody wants to pay taxes on that higher value, but that is what we're tasked to do.
Yes.
So yes.
This is why she goes to Walmart with a ball cap
Yes.
on and big
Yes,
sunglasses
that's right.
now. Like, no, I'm just kidding. And you and I did talk off the air, though, that your office is so very, very accessible, and you have always been so kind to go out of your way to talk to everybody that needs help. And, I think that I've come in and talked to you, this isn't all you do.
Nope.
This is a fraction of what your office does. You handle all the, vendors licenses and dog tags and a billion other things that you guys.
All the finances for the county rolls through me. Yep.
Yes. Everything. Yep. So, this is just one little thing of what she does. So if you happen to see Miss Tiffany out and about or one of the staff, it's okay to say hi, but think about that and be nice.
Yes.
I should have worn my shirt today.
Always be kind,
yes,
right?
Be nice, everybody. Yes. And, don't call yelling and screaming, because the thing is, you're very willing to help and listen to people.
Yes. It's mass appraisal. I'm looking at 28,000. We are going to have pockets in this time that are incorrect, but we're willing to fix that. We're willing to listen. We're willing to re-review it.
If you speak with reason.
Yes, we are willing to do what we can to make sure that it is correct. But to that point is, even if we've looked at it, we really can't make an adjustment neighborhood-wise, because, again, we're still in that mass appraisal mindset.
Yep.
after your tax bills come out, you can still file what's called a Board of Revision form. It's a complaint against the valuation of your property.
Yes.
And that no longer lets us look at it en masse. It makes us look at you individually. Yes. And so there's still that time frame. And you have until March 31st to file that complaint form. And it is more of a formal process, but
because there's a board that actually reviews
there is a
that
board, yeah.
stuff.
So our board is County Commissioner Paul Haller, the Treasurer Lee Hubbard, and myself.
Okay,
is who sits on our board, and that's mandated in ORC. That's who the board is. But that makes us look at you individualized, and so you would have to tell us what you do think the fair market value is
and why,
and provide any evidence that you do have.
So what would be some of the reasons? Because I told you two personal reasons off the air. And well, one of them I said on the air was a house was torn down.
Right.
So obviously it's not there anymore. That's pretty cut and dry.
Right. Yeah.
But another one was I had bought a property that was evaluated up here, but the purchase price was much lower than what the value was. So that's an arm's length transaction.
Right.
Come in with the documents that say this is what I actually paid for it.
Yep.
Then it can be revalued.
Yes. As long as that sale is within the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So a sale goes stale after 3 years. So as long as that sale is within the last 3 years, or an appraisal for market as of 1/1 of the tax lien year. So now we will consider refinance appraisals. We will consider appraisals for other reasons other than market. We will consider them, but it's not an automatic determination.
Gotcha.
And depending on when, like for a refinance, for instance, depending on when that refinance was done will depend on how much weight it will have. So if you would come into my office today and have a refinance appraisal from 2020, it's not going to hold as much weight than a refinance from 22 because the market trended upwards from 20 to 21, 21 to 22. So if you would get a new appraisal, it would be higher.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so here's the thing. If you happen to, and I know that you and Josh were talking and Matt about the fact that Matt had just gotten a appraisal done on his property. And so for a refinance and from the bank. So if you do that and it's skewed, if it's different, then immediately come to you and talk because just do it now.
Yep. So, and right now is the informal time. So you don't have to do that formal complaint form and we don't have to take it before the board.
Yeah.
We don't have to do any of that. Again, we're in that mass set. So as long as the only problem with doing that right now is again, if I don't have characteristics wrong, I just have your value wrong.
Yeah.
It depends on how it looks on that mass scale.
Okay.
But individualize, absolutely. Bring it in. And those things are easy to decision. The board is very
please give us some give us the evidence.
Right. And we consider all the evidence. I mean, we consider all of them.
Yeah. And Josh asked you an interesting question off the air, and I hope you don't mind if I ask you here, but so there's this website called Zillow.
Yep.
And, there's other ones, realtor.com and some of these other ones. And I feel like they kind of all pool their information together. So if you're looking at one, you're probably looking at fairly the same information for all of them. But Zillow is a home search site if you're looking for homes for sale or places for rent, that kind of thing. But they also give you valuations of property, and that's their Zillow value. I forget what they call it.
Z-estimate.
Their Zestimate. Yes. So, but are those fairly accurate? Would that be something that you would consider?
Yes. Yeah. We will. So through this whole process, we use Zillow. We use realtors' websites. We use Zillow. We use realtor.com. I mean, through this whole process, we use that, and especially during this informal time when people would say, I really kind of think you might have this pocket of this neighborhood maybe a little bit incorrectly.
Like wrong.
Yeah. And we go out and we look at the sales and we're like, maybe we had a really high sale and we had a really low sale. And so we're just not sure where they should be falling, right?
Sure.
So we'll go out and we will look at Zillow. Now, I'm not going to tell you that we hang our hat on that. We
Oh,
don't
no,
draw
no.
a line in the sand on that at
Yeah.
all. But we do use it.
It's a tool.
Yes, it's
just
a tool.
like all
It's
the other things that you
yes,
use.
it's a tool. That's right.
Very, very good. And the important thing I think for you all out there is to be your own advocate, right? So whatever property that you own, if you own a property, get to the website, or if somebody isn't privy to the internet, fine. Come in your office and you'll be happy to, tell the new evaluation or whatever. You can compare it with last year's taxes and that kind of thing, and see if you think that it's a fair reevaluation.
Right. Is it a fair reevaluation? That's right. That's what we want. We want to make sure it's right.
Yeah, I mean, you're not mean.
No. We don't want to tax you on any more than what we have to tax you on.
Right.
And we don't. We want it to be right. I want it to be right. I cannot stress that enough. And every public official that has a levy on the ballot wants it to be right. Or everyone that collects on a levy wants it to be right. There is.
For sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's high or low or whatever.
Right.
Now, I'm sure that you probably don't have a lot of people saying, my property value is assessed too low. I want to pay more taxes.
I can tell you that's happened a handful of times since I've been there.
What kind of honest Boy Scout does that?
So, yeah, it has happened. I will not tell you it has never happened. It has happened a handful of times. I've been in the office since 2003. So a handful of times we've had somebody. My favorite one is we actually had somebody who didn't just come in and tell us. They actually filed a formal complaint that it was too low. And we were like, oh, wow. So no, those things don't happen very often. They're far and few in between. But generally when somebody wants to sell, they want that value to be up there.
Sure.
If somebody did, in the one case, they did an extensive remodel. And I think they were getting ready to refinance it. And so they wanted their value up there.
I got you.
But, and to that point, like when I said the remodel, we remember it's tax lien date. So we're behind. Taxes are collected a year behind calendar year.
Yes.
So we're looking at what was that value 1/1 of 23, and the tax bills will be released hopefully in January of 24. So
for the year of 23.
Right.
So, and that gets confusing when you go to sell your home or whatever too.
Well, and people get confused when they build a new home or when they tear down a home, because remember, if you tore it down in December of 23, you're still going to be paying on it in that first half tax bill. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Well, I hope that, have we had any questions, Dylan? I just was making sure.
No.
If we don't have questions, that means we do a pretty good job.
We do a pretty good job. Well, I do want to just mention a few things.
Yes.
So tax credits. So there are a few programs out there that can help certain classes of people. So there's homestead exemption.
Yes.
And so for anybody who doesn't know what homestead exemption is, it's for people who are 65 years of age or older or disabled. Now, there is an income guideline on that.
Okay.
But they do get a tax reduction. It has been static at $25,000 reduction in your valuation since about 2013.
Okay.
That is increasing for next year's taxes that are going out. So for 23 taxes payable in 24. We don't know what that number is exactly yet. It just passed the House and the Senate, and the governor signed it. So,
but come in and ask your office if you qualify.
Yes, if you qualify. Then there's also Veterans Homestead. So if you're a disabled veteran, either 100% compensated or 100% disability rating, there is that as well. And there is no income guideline for those people that would qualify. So there's that. If you own your home and you live in your home, you want to make sure that you're getting owner occupancy credit. And that is just a small reduction. What is in years ago, it was called 2.5% reduction for living and owning your home. But it's called owner occupancy credit. And so that would show on your bill as a negative under HRB on the side of your bill.
So make sure that's there.
You've got it, right? And that's just a form. all of that is, free to file. And then, of course, if you're a farmer and you have over 10 acres of property, there is what's called current agricultural use value. And that takes us from valuing your property at market to valuing your property based on soil types.
Oh.
Yes. So if you have, or if you have less than 10 acres, but you get a $2,500 yield, you could also apply. Now there is a filing fee for that. It's a one-time filing fee of $25. And there is a couple, things that we need to do for you to qualify for that program. But if you are a farmer and you are not getting that, please come in and talk to us.
What's considered a farmer?
So it's 10 acres or more for commercial farming. So,
okay. So if you're raising cattle,
if you're raising cattle, if you are baling hay twice a year for somebody else's farm, maybe even that works, or for your own,
okay,
that works. If you have soybeans, if you have corn,
okay,
yep,
okay,
yep,
interesting. I didn't know about that.
And trees, Christmas trees.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. See,
wow.
now you know.
Yeah.
She's taught us all kinds of things this morning. Very good. Well, Tiffany, is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know before we let you get out of here? I know you're very busy. This is a very busy time for you. And then, of course, we have Pete Wilson here to talk about some news as well.
Yes. So, no, just please go out and check your values. We want them to be right. And so, again, my website is jacksoncountyauditor.org. Mm-hmm. My email is on that website.
Yes.
So you can email me. You can come in. Our phone number is 740-286-4231. Or you can come into the office, and we are all willing to help you. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just come into the courthouse and keep on walking until you run into the auditor's office.
Yep. You'll go through security. They'll tell you where we're at.
Yeah. They'll tell you where to go.
Yeah, they'll tell you. They're like, down there.
No, they're very sweet as well.
Yes.
So. All right. Well, Jackson County Auditor Tiffany Ridgeway, thank you for spending your morning with us.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. And if anything else pops up or you'd like to come back and tell our viewers about, like dog tag, anything that you do, we'd love to have you back.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. All right, Dylan, let's pull up that weekend weather forecast, and then we'll get Pete Wilson over here to change out. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Come on over, Pete. So here's the deal. There is some serious rain going on right now and outside our studios, and I can hear it on the ceiling. So today, looking like that chance of rain at 80%. Highs today only of 60 degrees. Dylan, I think she's lost. This building is, if you've never been in this building, it's a maze. It took me a week to figure out where I was going. But yeah, so colder temperatures today. They are saying maybe that chance of rain moving out by the time the football games go get here. So, but the weekend not looking too bad. So Saturday, highs of 62 with some sunshine, and Sunday, highs of 56. So kind of sweatshirt weather, but not a lot of rain.
No,
so.
we can deal with it.
We can. I mean, that's kind of fall-like, isn't it?
Okay, let's see. Do we want October weather, December weather, January weather, February weather? I think October.
I'll go with October.
We'll go with October. So
I can deal with 50s and 60s.
Don't complain.
Yes.
And I also looked at the weather since we broadcast football games. It is supposed to move out by late afternoon. So let's hope that happens.
Yeah.
So we'll have decent weather, and I'll be under roof anyway, so I don't care.
Not like that graduation where your umbrella went inside out.
No. Well, that was something. All right. Well, Jennifer, we do have some news to cover, and we're so glad that Tiffany was able to be here. That's so important, what she was talking about.
It is.
I know the reappraisal, I'm sure, was right at the top of the list there of your discussion. But, we had a real uplifting event last night in Jackson. It was the Jackson Area Chamber of Commerce Appreciation Banquet.
Oh,
The Chamber's been doing this for many years. This is the 56th Chamber Appreciation Banquet. And Dylan has just put up the main honorees from the Appreciation Banquet last night. Our editorial assistant, Alex Shope, was there working on that story.
Very good.
It is a big story with multiple honorees. They all have a story worth hearing
Sure.
and reading about. And so it's going to be a big spiel. We're going to reserve it for our Wednesday paper to make sure we get all those details in there. But this is we'll give you kind of like an advance word on it because, you know, the word is out. The banquet was last night. Wasn't really announced ahead of time who the award winners are, so it's news. The Mark Porter Auto Group was the business of the year this year. That is Mark Porter there on the left. The Community Pride Award was the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership, and Sam Brady.
I could see that, yeah.
You see Sam Brady there, I think fourth from the right. In that lineup of honorees. The Spot on Main, owner-operator Jenny Massey, quite a success story in and of itself. The Entrepreneur of the Year.
Yes.
I think you agree that was a good choice.
Good choice.
I believe that's Jenny on the far right there. And then the Meritorious Service Award was Josie Rader, who is third from the right there. And Josie is the owner-operator, the founder of the Faith and Fitness Studio in downtown Jackson. And that is an unusual but very positive concept involving exactly what the business says. Faith and fitness ties them together.
Absolutely is. It's wonderful.
And Josie is driven by she's motivated and driven by her Christian faith.
She is.
And she talked about that last night when she accepted the award. And Josie, in addition to doing faith and fitness, I think she was also recognized, or she could have been recognized for other things she does in the community. Very active. She really has had a big hand in the sidewalk market that has been so popular on the first Thursday of each month.
She was also very involved in our pink party that we did. So, yeah, lots of stuff.
Right. And there were, in addition to those main awards, there was 3 beautification awards. They went to the Holzapfel Family Clinic. Of course, they have clinics in both Jackson and Wellston. Wellston is the newest. That's a family-owned business there, Vicky Holzapfel. And then the Corner Pub, of course, they're in downtown Jackson. That was sold a couple of years ago, and the new owners have done a major facelift there. So the corner, especially on the interior. They were awarded, Mercedes Finley was there to accept the award, Vicky Holzapfel for Holzapfel Family Clinic. And the Orange City Implement, which used to be the old Jackson Implement in town. That happened several years ago, but they have done some, improvements there as well at the Orange City Implement.
Definitely.
And Rick Smith was there to accept that award. But we will have that story in Wednesday's paper. We'll have a story on the radio, today and over the weekend. You'll hear about that. But we wanted to tell you about that on TV while it was fresh.
Very good.
But the chamber doing a great job. Brian Leach and Kelsey Stewart, the co-executive directors, and a very active board as well. It was held at the Parks Edge Event Center, and for the second year in a row that I know of, at least, it was a capacity crowd. They sold out. That is a big place.
That's awesome.
So a lot to celebrate. So glad that the chamber does that, because some of these things don't necessarily come out in the news because it's a progression. It's a time thing. It isn't just one thing, but it's success over a period of time, whether it's service or a business success or whatever. And so this is something where the community has a chance to applaud business success, public service, and community service.
That's right.
So, all right, speaking of business, which of course the Chamber of Commerce is all about business, there is a new store in Oak Hill that opened. I understand it opened yesterday, a soft opening. We're talking about the new H2 store on South Front Street in Oak Hill, and it is it's a new combination of Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. The discount stores. There it is.
Wait, what?
That you can see right there. I'm not funning you. You can see the sign there. It's got Family Dollar and Dollar Tree on the sign, but one chain brought up the other one. I guess if I'm not saying that incorrectly. And so they're a combo now, and there are combo stores. They're not all that way, but some of them are moving that direction. I understand that there is this H2 concept in Piketon and Bidwell as well. And, they're expanding. And Remember, there was a Family Dollar store in the Acorn Plaza in Oak Hill.
Mm-hmm.
It has closed because, now it's part of this store that has the Dollar Tree. It's all under one roof. I do not know whether the sections are split or not, but it's under one roof. It's Family Dollar and Dollar Tree, both on South Front Street. And they haven't really announced a whole lot, but I do know for a fact that they were open yesterday, and that may have been the very first day. And that is at the site of a former brickyard, the Davis Brickyard, there in Oak Hill. So that was that, of course, was not active anymore. And so I'm sure this was a big cosmetic improvement there on the main drag in Oak Hill.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of business, we'll go north now. Construction is continuing on the Benton County National Bank building, the new building there on Main Street in Benton County. Our Red Thompson was driving by, and he stopped to take a couple pictures. Here is one of them. There you got the big sign advertising the construction of the new bank building. There is masonry walls are going up as well. That's the Randy Evans Construction of Jackson, who is doing that project. And there is another view right there, as you can see some of the framework of the walls going up. It is to be completed sometime in 2024. But work going on now. Weather overall has been favorable, so some progress has been made.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember, this bank building will, from a retail standpoint, will replace the current bank building that's been there for a long time, right on the corner of Main and Market by the traffic light in downtown MacArthur. And when this building is completed and open, it will have all the retail operations for the Benton County National Bank in MacArthur. Anything, that is customer related, that's where it will take place. There will still be staff working at the old building, but it'll be more of an administrative center. It won't be open to the public as far as retail is concerned, at least.
Okay.
So, all this progressing. Of course, Randy Evans Construction also built the Jackson County Banking Center on McCarty Lane.
Wonderful.
That is a building in the Benton County National Bank family. All right. I was up in MacArthur on Monday evening myself covering a school board meeting.
Okay.
Red Thompson Jr. was unable to make that one. He was busy doing something else. And so I got a chance to meet with the folks up there. And we have a story going in our Saturday paper that was kind of the main story there. They had a 90-minute executive session in the middle of the meeting. Executive session means it's behind closed doors. You can do that by state law for several different reasons. Personnel employment is one of them. And it was done in advance of of a section of the agenda that involved personnel. So, you could maybe presume it involved that. But when they came back, the board members, they approved some positions, but there were two that were not approved unanimously. Okay. Linda Bartow, who was hired as a staffer for one of the after-school programs, was approved, but by a 3-2 vote. Then there was a volunteer named Curtis Prater to be a volunteer 8th grade basketball coach on the boys' side.
Okay.
He was rejected 5-0. So,
really?
Right. Now, this was an executive session, and so that's all behind closed doors. That's private. You can't take action in executive session, but you can discuss things and decide things informally, at least. All votes have to be in open session. So when they made these votes, of course, it begs the question, what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, they don't have to say, and they didn't say.
Okay.
There was no comment made, and I've been covering meetings like this long enough to know that they're probably not going to say anything.
But inquiring minds need to know, right?
It wouldn't have been an executive session anyway. But anyway, we'll be covering other doings that took place at the meeting, including the Benton County Board honoring officially the girls' golf team for winning the TVC Ohio title for the very first time.
That's awesome.
And then Olivia Schroeder, who is a member of that golf team, for qualifying for the district tournament. So more news to come from the Benton County Board of Education. Okay, we talked the other day about COVID vaccines, the latest COVID vaccine now being available. The Jackson County Health Department has announced, and we will have this in the paper Saturday and online later today, they have received the updated COVID-19 vaccine. The Centers for Disease Control, that's the federal agency that handles, that handles all the vaccines. It is recommending that everyone 6 months of age and older get the updated vaccine. Of course, it's not mandatory, but they're saying you should do it. I know that there's different schools of thought about the vaccine.
What do you think about it, Pete?
I have had three. You asked me. I've had 3 vaccines. I'm not going to have a 4th right now.
Okay.
That's what I think right now.
Same.
With the
I don't know why. I'm like overtaking it.
Well, I tell you what, I know there's been a lot, it's got political, we know that. But it was said on the federal level that you need to take this back, and the state and local followed suit on this because, the people who should know said at the top that if you don't want to get COVID, you need to take this vaccine. Well, there were people who got COVID anyway.
Yeah.
And plus, 2 of the 3 times I got sick after I took the injection.
Right.
So I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but you asked me what I'm going to do. I did it. I'm not going to do it.
Same.
All right.
I don't know why.
All right. But anyway, I will say this. I have less weight in this than the CDC, than the Jackson County Health Department, than the Ohio Department of Health.
We're talking about this tongue in cheek in a way, and it's not a funny thing. But also, you and I, knock on wood, are relatively healthy.
Mm-hmm.
There are certainly people out there that should definitely take this thing. You know, get boosted and get those updates.
Right. Well, I think you've even heard that in some cases, there's been side effects that are bad, but those seem to be very rare.
Yes.
It's just what my thing is. It's just the effectiveness of it, if it really does what it's supposed to do. And I think it has a whole lot to do with the changing nature of the COVID virus.
Yes.
By the time that another round comes, the vaccine you had may not cover that strain
because it changes so
COVID.
fast.
But anyway, reading further on what the health department says, the updated vaccine targets a subvariant of Omicron, and it's anticipated to be better at fighting the current circulating virus. Remember, we do have cases of COVID.
But definitely.
Got the senior citizen centers closed down yesterday and today because of concerns about COVID. The previous bivalent vaccine is no longer recommended for use in the United States. So this is
bivalent. Okay.
Right. This is a different vaccine that they think is current, could be currently effective. The recommendation for the 2023-24 COVID-19 vaccine comes as the number of new positive COVID-19 cases continue to rise. The goal of the updated vaccine is to protect people from severe complications and hospitalization. And that has been a standard argument to get the vaccine. Even if you get it, you will not get as sick as you would if you didn't get it. And I can't refute that.
Same as with the flu.
I cannot refute that. It says side effects, and this is in the story, side effects of the 2023 COVID-19 vaccine, the new one, include pain or tenderness or swelling or redness at the injection site. Also possible, fever, tiredness, headaches, chills, and muscle and joint pain may also occur.
Okay.
I mean, so, they are being upfront that you could have these side effects.
Sure.
The CDC has stated that it is safe to receive the new vaccine and the flu vaccine at the same time. Some people may wonder about that.
Well, if you're going to do it at the same time and get it over with.
You can do
for the year.
Now, the vaccine does not cover the flu and COVID. They're different
two
vaccines,
different,
but the timing now, is simultaneous when you're recommended to get it. So how do you get the COVID vaccine here? The health department says that you can call 286-5094. That's 740-286-5094, their landline number, to schedule an appointment, but you don't have to. Walk-ins are welcome Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Please bring your insurance card or cards. Your insurance will be billed for the vaccine. So that's good news. Insurance should cover it.
Yes.
And you can schedule an appointment if you want to make sure that that time is reserved for you, but you can walk in as well. So they're making it very convenient for you. Okay, we want to also let you know that the city of Wellston is going to have a town hall meeting on Thursday. That's October the 24th at the city building up there in the city council chambers. And this is a town hall meeting regarding the levy that the city is going to have on the November 7th ballot that will cover recreation costs, including, the building and operation of a new pool.
Of a pool.
Now, the city officials, Mayor Anthony Brenner, said it's much more than just about, a pool. It's about, other forms of recreation that he feels is a thing that will make it much more nice to live in Wellston and also attract
Sure.
visitors to
Absolutely.
Wellston because of the QOL, the quality of life. That's the phrase that they use. And so the pool, though, is one of the things that would be covered if this levy gets passed. All right. We will go on because we're running out of time here. There will be fire hydrant inspections in the Madison Jefferson Fire District.
Okay.
That is Oak Hill, the village of Oak Hill, Madison Township, and Jefferson Township, South County, not including Hamilton Township or Bloomfield Township. But it will go from Sunday, August 22nd through Friday, October the 28th. And this is where they, check all the hydrants, let them run, make sure that they're working. And obviously, when this happens, it can affect the color and quality of the water while it's happening. You don't want to do laundry at the same time or whatever. And if the water is a little brown when you turn on your faucet, don't freak out. Just let it run for a while, and
That's
it should be okay.
Just don't wash your whites.
But the Madison Jefferson Fire Department and the Village of Oak Hill, they'll be collaborating on this. They want to let you know that this will be taking place next week. Do not forget, Jennifer, that Feed My Starving Children is
That's
taking
this
place
weekend,
this
yeah.
week at the Christ Church of Jackson, the former Christ United Methodist Church. The action will take place in the Family Life Center. They may have some meetings in the sanctuary, when they give you an orientation. That's how
Right.
they've done it in the past. But there's going to be food packing sessions with volunteers, about 500 volunteers. Remember, they were shooting for 500. And I think when Mark Carlisle was on here, they were talking about having 27 maybe they still
Yeah.
needed. So they're going to make it. But the sessions are going to be Friday, which is today. Yeah, it's today, from 1 to 3 p.m. and 4 to 6 p.m. And then again tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So what do you got there,
Dylan's being
Dylan?
all sly. This is what you'll be packing.
Okay.
These are the food packs that they will be packing.
Right, and this is not an over-dramatization on the church's part and anyone involved in that project or us. They're talking about it. There are children in the world that are starving and dying because
Every
of
day.
starvation.
Thousands every day.
So this is important. Good for you if you supported this project with donations or with your time.
Agreed.
All right. Okay. Some other events taking place this weekend. We'll go through these real quick. The Jackson Elks will have an annual charity dinner and fundraiser on Saturday evening. That'll be at their Fidelity Hall from 6 p.m. I'm sure you can still get in on that if you're interested. The Jackson Nazarene Church will have a free breakfast for veterans. They do that once a month. It'll be 9 a.m. this Saturday in the church's gym, free to veterans and their family. Of course, John Smith was here to talk about the cruise in at the Trinity Chapel
Yes.
Church from 5 to 7 p.m. Also on Saturday. That is free and open to the public. The Liberty Township Fire Department, some good folks there. All the fire department folks are good. They're going to have one of their big fundraisers, a bean dinner, this Saturday. It will start at
All
11
right.
a.m. out there at the fire station on Harrison Road. It's just off the Beaver Pike, about 2-3 miles out. And they'll have beans, cornbread, hot dogs, pop water, coffee, and desserts. It's free. They're not charging anything, but obviously they would like to have donations. So think about the fire department there. They will also have a Chinese auction and a live auction as well, and a 50-50 drawing. Up in Vinton County, there's going to be what they call a Porktoberfest. All right, Porktoberfest. Right. It's kind of a play on words from Oktoberfest. It's because one of the things they're going to have is pork sandwiches.
Good.
It used to be called the Pork in the Park, and now they call it the Porktoberfest. The Renovate Life Church of God, which is a real
Love
active
that.
church there in MacArthur, will be having this event at the Vinton County Fairgrounds. Kind of a gift to the community. It'll be from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Red Thompson has been at this event before, and he's going to go again, he says, but it is a wonderful event. Open Rail, Slaw Dog, Life Source Praise, Renovate Praise, and other singing groups. There'll be a lot of music. inflatables, door prizes, lemonade, shaved ice, Kona ice, and much more. They're even going to have a petting zoo this year.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
All right. And then Maddie Allman, our 4-H extension
Yes.
educator, got a hold of me to let me know she wanted to get it out to the public. And so I'm going to talk about it. There will be an open hike night Monday evening at the Cantor's Cave 4-H camp.
Yes.
Anybody can go.
Super cool this time of the year.
The fall colors.
It's so gorgeous.
5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Doesn't cost a thing. It'll be a guided hike with the extension office folks, joined by the Jackson City Library folks who are partners in this. But it will be free. And Maddie says that a lot of people just don't realize how beautiful Cantor's Cave is and the hiking trails. A lot of people have never been on the hiking trails.
You're right.
So that's an opportunity to do that. Once again, just show up 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It is, there's no pre-registration involved. Hikers of all ages are welcome to come. However, you should wear comfortable shoes and dress in layers. There could be some slick places along the way, so be careful, but it will be guided.
Yep.
All right, on sports, we want to tell you the Jackson girls soccer team rocked it last night.
Woo! You go, girls!
7-0. There they are.
7-0.
That's all it was. 7-0.
Oh my God!
They beat Logan Elm at home up there at Alumni Stadium. Coach Karina Folks, congratulations to her and her team. Sydney Fain, who was sitting right where I am, all she did was score 4 goals.
Way to go!
And Maddie Walburn, who was also sitting here, all she did was not allow a single goal. Right. So, they were certainly leaders there, but the whole team must have done great along with the coaches.
That is awesome.
They will move ahead now to the district tournament. They will play another very good team, Unioto, on Monday evening. I'm not sure where that's going to be, but they will play Unioto in the district tournament. That's next. Don't forget, we've got football tonight. Jackson at home against Chillicothe. Jackson is going for an undisputed FAC title. That's Frontier Athletic Conference. The Vinton County Vikings are home against Wellston. Inter-county rivalry game there. Vinton County wins. They will be the undisputed champions of the Tri-Valley Conference Ohio Division, and Wellston would like nothing better than to not let that happen.
Out of it, yeah.
Right, and the Oak Hill Oaks will be home as well. They will play Scioto Northwest, the Mohawks. So,
Cool.
Like we say, we hope the rain clears up if you're going to the game. If you can't get to the game or if it's raining, tune into the radio. We'll have all those games on Jackson County Broadcasting radio station.
And no matter where you are, you can pull up your Total Media Radio app and listen to those games on there as well.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, Pete, thank you so much. I know you have your red shirt on, so I know what you're doing this evening. But have a great weekend, everyone. Go Bucks and all the other local teams. Noon game tomorrow against Penn State.
Yeah, Ohio State.
When do we not play Penn State at night?
Well, it usually is at night, and
weird.
I tell you, the TV rules is all I can tell you.
I can imagine. I know that the, shall we say, restaurant and bar owners in Columbus are furious over that noon game, and I don't say as I blame them much.
Right, so. And what those poor tailgaters have to get up so early.
Gotta just start drinking so early.
Lemonade, right?
Yes,
okay.
Bloody Marys at least.
Okay.
All right. Well, have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we will see you right back here on Monday. Bye-bye.